to see you again. Good to hear you again. And we are excited to hear about Tennis Esports. You were one of the first we talked to in the VR world, and it's now been maybe a year, a little over a year. I didn't do my own due diligence on our own last conversation, but what has happened in a year? What direct? You guys have done a lot, so catch us up and let us know what's been going on.
Yeah, thanks so much. Really, really happy to be here again. And it's awesome to give you an update, this update again, because a lot has happened this year. It's surprising that even talking Apple hadn't released since last year their VR headsets. It's also surprising that we're not doing this podcast in VR as well. So next year we should definitely do that.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, that would be a bit of a mix, but no. So since we last spoke, we probably didn't even launch onto the store yet. So just like a virtual tennis application or virtual applications, just like your mobile, you download it on your Oculus Store or your App Store. So we launched in June last year, and since then we have probably grown around 50% month on month since then. So it's been growing quite well. We have had our first kind of competition in an Olympic space. So I went to Mongolia recently, where we just hosted the East Asian Youth Olympic Games, and we had teams actually competing for a gold, silver, and bronze medal with an Olympic sanction. So that was very, very cool.
An Olympic sanction? What does that actually mean?
Correct. So because we're such a small startup and not very many people know about VR tennis and its rules, I was the technical official umpire for this tournament. And these rules were kind of drafted by our organization and then drafted by a few officials within the Olympic committee. Nice. And also sanctioned by that. So that's why they achieved the gold medal or the medal status for virtual reality tennis, a world first for sure. Yeah, so we had people like cheering and saying "come on" with their headsets on, and it was wild. It was an interesting experience, but it was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was one really big achievement, and we are only getting better. So yeah, we've also released, as we were talking about before, the tech zone, which is probably more relevant to your podcast. And basically, Tennis Esports in a nutshell is able to help you improve your technique or learn a modern technique in virtual reality, so in real time, based upon AI coaching rules and data analysis. So if I do a forehand, I can see it track by track, every single frame, what I should be doing, where I should be. And at the same time, I can also hit my normal forehand and get feedback automated by AI and simple coaching rules as well. So that will be a work in progress as the machine learns and we get more and more people using it. But at the moment, it is a revolutionary product, and we hope it can grow tennis. And I think maybe sorry if I take the stage too far, maybe take 2 steps back and explain what VR tennis is all about. For maybe some new listeners.
Yeah, if somebody has no idea what we're talking about.
Correct.
I agree, maybe.
Yeah, maybe just take 10 steps back.
Hang on.
Yeah, so VR tennis or Tennis Esports is a virtual reality tennis application, and we have kind of 2 goals. I'm an ex-professional tennis player, about 300 in the world, and I joined because I believe in these 2 things. So one is kind of growing tennis participation. It's the most realistic experience I've had that's not on tennis. So we simulate everything from ball spins to speeds, everything from competition, everything except for the impact. So if I hit a slice serve to you over in Atlanta, you will receive my slice serve and it will skid through the court at the appropriate sea level, sea temperature, everything like this. So this is one aspect. And the other aspect, as I was talking about before, is we are merging this world with esports. So I can play matches online and meet you on a real virtual court and compete with real tennis points with automated scoring and umpires and a virtual spectator, who hopefully will be real spectators soon. And we are building out esports within that, so competitive virtual tennis.
All right, so
Yeah.
Bobby, I can see what's going on up there.
Well, I was just picturing right away when they were doing the Olympics. Now, I know the players have to wear the goggles, and I'm assuming if you want to watch the match, you have to wear goggles as well.
No, that's a great question. Not at all. So it actually projects onto 2D platforms, so we could watch it on our PC or on our mobile. We also had commentators for this, and we do typically have commentators for our matches. So it's just like any normal match, except you're commentating on a screen, so you can't actually be there in person. You can watch it in VR as well, though.
So you can talk during the match, and they can't hear you.
Yeah, you can talk as a spectator, and they can't hear you. We're working on kind of, sending your little emoji or something like that to say, "Hey, good job," and you'll see it in your kind of AR periphery. But that's the next step. But yeah, we can talk just like this in our matches as well. So I won't need to shout across the court or pick up any balls for that matter. I'll be automatically teleported to the next point. So that's kind of cool.
So what would you say, since we spoke last, the percentage of, and I don't even know how you measure it. How do we measure improvement in the technology from last year at this time?
Yeah, I'm not sure to give a number. However, I know that we're working with the technology as best as we can, and we're right at the forefront of it. So every kind of new update, we partner with Meta. They kind of fund us to be part of this. Mark Zuckerberg loves tennis, which is great. And so I would say that we're probably, from when I started 2 years ago, we're double that. So let's just say 50% growth rate is pretty good. So we're definitely really, really close to making it a really smooth experience that simulates real life. Yeah. So to the point where, for example, one of the coolest features that I really enjoy is that you don't have to toss up the ball. So it makes it really easy and accessible for new players to join when they're first learning to hit a serve, for example. The ball is actually floating perfectly in the air for them. And they can choose and pick and choose where it is. So just to get used to that actual impact of hitting above your head, it really, really helps onboard new players as well, and hopefully bring them onto the real court as well, which is nothing that I want to or we want to discriminate at all.
So in that case, what you've got is it's almost a large range of saying, okay, we've got it so simplified for the gamer that may not have actually ever held a real tennis ball in their hand, but also you're going to help me as my recreational players are going to potentially use your system to help develop their strokes, at least the swing pattern. As you say, the impact isn't there, and that's true on any VR system. But then you also have, you're able to teach a lesson as well. Are you to that point? I know I watched something recently where you can stand near me and watch me play tennis and maybe coach me. Is that part of the ability as well?
That's in the pipeline. I think you've nailed it, where we're kind of helping the gamer, helping the everyday person, bringing tennis to where you can never typically play. And this is the crux of it, right? So now we can play tennis in a classroom, for example, and introduce tennis to all of the class who may not necessarily want to go play gym or want to, even just jump on a court because they're playing paddle instead or pickleball instead. Now this is a way for tennis to actually grow and innovate in a modern fashion. So bringing it to where you can't necessarily play is awesome. Second, for the stroke improvements, I think we've only released that for the forehand. What is coming, I can tell you, is definitely the backhand side, and that will come again for the serve. So tennis is not quite natural, as you know, all the time for everyone. And so picking up those skills almost immediately off the first bat really helps coaches and also helps players, have those little tips and techniques as well to improve. To bring in the actual physical coaching and us meeting on a court for you to talk, this is possible. However, I would say it's manual right now, so it's clunky. So we could meet on this on a court, but it wouldn't be a direct, perfect simulation of a court. You're not going to have a basket of balls there that you're going to be able to feed your player. But that's definitely in the pipeline for coaches and a coaching tool for sure to do that.
And Bobby, I'm going to ask exactly what you're thinking, which is if I teach the forehand a little bit differently from how Bobby teaches the forehand, and then we have somebody that comes in and says, well, sure, but Alex in VR told me I need to do it this way. Every coach has that question. Like, you're not trying to replace the coaches. You're hoping to be supplemental in a way.
Exactly right. Yeah. So we've left the parameters, and they're tested by a lot of tennis coaches in general. And we've left them quite wide open. So what we're trying to do is teach a modern C-loop forehand. Have any grip you like. If you don't agree with that, please just shoot me an email and let us know. But I'd be very, very happy to take some feedback on that. But we really thought about it and just wanted to onboard people into tennis as best as possible. That's the goal with this one. And it is such a revolutionary tool that we wouldn't want to discriminate tennis at any point. So I don't think it's a hindrance at all. It's more of a fast track you into playing better and having fun straight away with tennis.
Yeah. All right, Bobby, I'd say I'm caught up. I'm sure there are 1,000 more things we can ask, right?
Last thing, I'm just curious about fitness component. Does it?
Yeah.
I mean, I know my ladies turn their Apple Watch on as soon as they walk on the court, but can it track steps? Because I see this as a great fitness aid as well.
100%. I'm so glad you asked, because I personally configured all the trainings that are inside the game. We've got over 30 modules, and one of the there's 5 modules that are called cardio tennis. And they really do, they are hard. They get you sweat up. The actual device, the Meta VR headset, tracks your calorie burn. And this really gets your heart rate up there to the point where some of my colleagues have not been able to complete some of the trainings. But yeah, it's a cool workout, and then that's also in the pipeline too, to kind of get people moving for sure in a tennis fashion. Hopefully adding some music in there as well to get a bit upbeat. And then finally I'll probably just add the last thing that comes to mind is you can configure your own trainings. So we've released a feature recently called the Playground. We released a poll of even the naming for it on LinkedIn, so if you want to find us there. But essentially what you can do is kind of select your tempo, select what stroke you want to hit, and kind of select what targets you want to go for. And basically you're basically making your own trainings from home as well. So that cardio tennis is definitely right there, and hopefully progressing as well with more feedback.
The playground. That's fantastic. I like that a lot. All right, Alex, what do you have for our audience? You mentioned before you guys got a key or two we can hand out, and then how do we get in touch with you? Give us the LinkedIn, the Instagrams, the face bags, all your handles. Give us everything.
That's it. So we are giving away exclusive free keys to your listeners. So basically all you need to do is email me at alex@vr-motion-learning.com. I'm sure Sean will add it to the show notes as well. But yes, just shoot me an email and we will definitely help you with that. And we're really open to your feedback. So find us on LinkedIn. You'll see a sports tech and tennis esports group with over I think around 20,000 people now. We share all our updates there quite frequently. You can join our Discord as well, Tennis Esports server, where we communicate to find matches and organize our tournaments and weekly prizes for in-game players. And finally, you can find on 2 websites. One is tennis-esports.com, just to find out more about the game. And second, you can find the IVTF, the International Virtual Tennis Federation.org, where all of our hopefully Olympic and really official tournaments will be taking place as well.
I love that there are official things happening. This is the official virtual reality tournament or whatever. And the fact that the Olympic Committee is gotten involved and give you a chance. I know one of the things we're going to talk about coming up in the next few months, we have our last Atlanta Open coming, and
Yeah.
we're going to see if we can put together. We haven't fit all the pieces together yet, but
Cool.
see if we can put together a virtual version of that. And I know Bobby doesn't actually compete in a lot of tennis, but I'm thinking he and I are going to go at it. What do you think, Bobby?
Well, the only thing I see missing to this, make my life complete, is the crypto component that you get prizes if you achieve certain levels. And then all my drugs are satisfied. I'm exercising, I'm playing tennis, and I'm getting rewarded. I mean, I'm a happy addict right now.
Oh, it sounds good.
I'm
I hear
sure
some
we know
requests there,
someone.
so I'm noting them all down. Don't worry.
I get
Yeah.
rewards for walking. I want a reward for hitting my forehand. That's all.
That's
There we
great.
go.
No problems.
There we
Easy
go.
done. Yeah.
Exactly. Alex, thank you so much. We need to do this. We'll find a schedule
Yeah.
once a
Yeah.
year, whatever it is. Anytime you got an update, find us and we will tell everybody. But as Alex said, we'll put everything in the show notes, in the description, wherever you're watching, listening, whatever you're doing. We should have a link somewhere to get you in touch with her, get a free key, and we will put out the email address and make sure everybody knows. Alex, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll see you again next
Thank you
time.
so much, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Keep in
Thanks
touch.
for coming.